I maybe have one facial every couple of months. But ultimately, if your skin is dry and it gets irritated like mine does, just keep it super simple, you know. I swear by oil, so I'll always go in with a nice plain vitamin E oil. It's very good for healing on the skin and ultimately always makes my skin look fresh. So I've just waxed a bit of this on. If you just see me when I got up, I look quite dry, flaky, you know. So I normally go in, especially if I have a mature client, and I will just put a couple of drops of oil on my hands and I'll just massage it into their skin. I think another thing as well, if you do have time at night or in the morning to give yourself a little bit of a face massage. Another thing, if anyone follows me on Instagram now, is the gua sha stones. So these little stones are magic. I don't know whether anyone, some people are nodding. I love this. Um, if I'm watching TV at night, I might put some oil on my face once I've had a shower and just start off, just massaging here. And this just helps increase circulation, it helps depuff you. It doesn't cost anything other than the stone. And you can just sit there and do it at night. And in the morning, it just makes you feel a little bit more open eyed. So I've done this and I feel like it just moves the skin out, opens up the eye area. And I also find these little stones are great for put a bit of this and then bring it down and clear the neck because this is where you keep a lot of toxins, your lymphatic system. You want to get that going, and you'll find that you'll feel a lot more depuffed and your neck will feel elongated. So that will give you more of a youthful appearance. So I do that, not all the time, but it is something that I swear by. So that's something that I would incorporate into your routine. Now then, there's a lot of products here. After I've done an oil on my skin, personally, if your skin is dry, I would go in with a moisturizer. If your skin is very, very dry, I really like the Weleda Skin Food. This is quite dense, it's rich, intense, but if you want your skin to look hydrated, this is a great one. If you have got a bit more money to spend, then you can go in with the Rolls Royce of moisturizers, which is the Tatcha. We quite like this. This is the dewy skin cream, and you will need to remortgage your house to buy it. Okay, so this is expensive, but worth it because it will make your skin look dewy. So this is just how I would prep potentially a dry skin. If your skin was very oily, I would go in with a face mist, which I sometimes do on myself as well, which is quite nice, so that you're giving hydration to the skin without it feeling greasy. And then I would just go in with the water cream from Tatcha because that absorbs quickly. So if your skin gets really shiny, very oily, this will hydrate the skin, but it won't leave it feeling greasy. So that's a nice one. Or the Bobbi Brown face base is a nice, just general overall moisturizer and primer. So it kind of primes the larger pore areas, but it hydrates as well. So that's just a few products. Anyway, I'm going in with Weleda Skin Food here, and you'll see what it does is it just locks in the oil. So what you've got to think is put your serums on obviously first if you have got a serum or an oil, and then lock it in with the moisturizer and really massage it in so that your skin looks dewy and hydrated. Now, foundation. I'm going to go in with a few foundations here. If you have got the money to spend, Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation is something that all makeup artists have in their kit. It is worth the money. It will give a dewy finish to the skin, but it is buildable. So you can layer it. It comes in many different colors. And I would say that is my most used. I pretty much use that on nearly everyone. Um, if you're on a bit of a budget, the L'Oreal True Match foundation is the same thing, actually. It just that my clients like it when I pull this one out. But if you're on a bit of a budget, get the L'Oreal True Match, what is it, plumping tinted serum, and that is a third of the price. So I found that the other day. Um, if your skin is a little bit oily and you get larger pores, the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Foundation is quite nice for a fuller coverage, which not many people like doing now, but that's an option. Um, okay, so actually, I've forgotten a step. Sorry about this. The first thing I would do is illuminate the skin with um, if anyone's got Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter or MCO Beauty, cheapy version does the same thing. Charlotte Tilbury. And what this does is evens out the skin tone first and gives a nice sort of luminous finish. So if I was doing this on myself, I just whack it on my cheeks. I get red cheeks. It evens out the skin tone. You could wear it by itself. If you just want a light coverage. And that would be my first step. So just patting it into the skin, mainly on the cheek area, and this will give a nice glow to the skin before you put foundation on. Or if you don't want to wear foundation, it's a good one on its own. So that's that and a bit of concealer is a nice even coverage and not heavy. Okay. Next step is the foundation. Now I'm going to go in and treat myself today to a little bit of the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, although I'm at the end of it over here. Right, isn't it? When you're just about to film. Um, anyway, you don't need much of that, but I would always go in, assess the skin on somebody, and 9 times out of 10, a nice sort of hydrating foundation is always going to make somebody feel nicer than something that's a bit heavy, full of coverage, and really, Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin is another nice foundation that I sometimes use. Now, I'm just using a little brush here, like this, a synthetic brush, and I'm patting it into the skin where I need it, not overloading the product. I'm just patting it in just to see where I need it, just to even it out. I'm just looking in the mirror here as well, but just to help cover the redness. And another thing that is good is a beauty blender. So just make sure they're nice and hydrated and bouncy, a bit like a marshmallow. I see a lot of women when I do makeup lessons that have quite dry beauty blenders. That's not going to do you any favors, okay? You want it nice, bouncy, hydrated, and then you just use it to just push the product into the skin. So it's the kind of the brush and sponge technique that will help your skin look like skin. So you apply it with the brush and then you can go in and just press it in with the sponge. You just gently evening it out. Okay, done. So I'm not going to overcomplicate it. Then, so I would do that. Then I would assess the under eye situation. So, if you've got particularly dark circles around your eyes, it's always good to consider, a little bit of color correction first. And so, there's a few products. Normally, if your eyes are a little bit darker around here, a little bit of peach, like a peach color corrector first. Charlotte Tilbury do some good ones in little pots. I don't have them, but I do want to get them. Or MAC have got these little clicky pens. And what these do is then you can just pop it on that darker area here. don't need a lot, but this will then just brighten, color correct that area. So I use this sort of shade on anyone really that has darker under eyes. Or the other product that is an old fave is the Yves Saint Laurent Touche Clay stick, which I don't know whether anyone remembers that. It used to be big back in the day for me, but that's one, that is an easy one in your handbag. You can just click it and then quickly put it on, and you'll just look like you've had a good sleep, which I haven't today. So, sometimes just a bit of color correction under the eyes is all you need. You don't necessarily have to go in with a concealer as well. But if you were thinking, oh, I'm gonna, go that extra mile, popping on a little bit of concealer, or brightening concealer, is over the top of it, is going to freshen that area up even more. So, drugstore brand, instant age erase, amazing. This is a great product for, it doesn't crease. It's great on its own. You don't necessarily need to powder it. It works with all types of under eye areas. So like, especially if, we get expression lines around there for mature clients, and they're reasonably priced. So I use different colors depending on people. 01 is the lightest, 02 and 03 is a little bit pinker. So this is a really good drugstore and one that's really easy. You twist it and then you can just pop it on. Sometimes you could just use that on its own and it will just brighten the center of the face. I don't have my color in it here. So I'm going to use actually a little bit of the NARS Radiant Concealer. So if you were to splurge, this is a really good creamy concealer that gives a bit of coverage. And this is in the color Custard, which is slightly more yellow based. And what we're going to do is we're not going to whack it on all around there like, you see a lot of people do on Instagram. We're just going to place it a little bit where we think, okay, I'm a little bit darker in these areas. I just want to brighten. I also quite like to brighten the central panel. Just a little dot here, little bit here, and a little bit on my chin. And that will just brighten the center of the face. Okay. Take your sponge and you just pat it in. Probably the easiest way to kind of quickly give brightness to the face, okay? And that I would pretty much do on everyone, just tweak it depending on their face shape. And then also a little tiny bit, I'm just putting it on the back of my hand, just on the lid, just to even out the skin tone on the lid, because you don't want to forget about that. But you don't want to overload too much product on the lid. Anyway, this is just a way that you could do your base if you want to spend a little bit of time on it. Now, next thing, I would look at the face and I think, right, okay, taken all the colour out, we need to put some colour back in. And so that's where contouring comes in, or bronzing. And I would always go in with a cream bronzer first on someone, because it helps the makeup stay on longer, and it gives dimension to the face. So my ride or die is the Chanel cream bronzer, which they are reformulating out here in Australia, so we can't get hold of it, but you've got it in the UK, and this is in the middle shade. This goes on everyone unless you're really dark skinned, in my kit. So it's Soleil Tan Bronze. It's a beautiful formula. It's very easy to use, and what it will do is give like this gorgeous, like colour to the skin without looking orange, without looking a bit grey, you know, if it's a bit taupey. It's just like a nice sun-kissed finish. I'm going to show you where I would always contour on someone. So I'd look at someone's face and think, right, okay, I need to bring it back to the oval shape. So I would always contour around here and onto the eyelid. And what this does is just, it brings that oval shape round here. So round here. And if you bring it a little bit onto the eyelid, then it helps the eye makeup sort of all blend in. So this is a nice way. Now, you don't want to be swiping like we used to back in the day, all of this jazz. You want to kind of be patting because you want to work it into the skin. Always around here. And then we want to pick up that cheekbone area. So this is somewhere I would always contour or, you know, bring some colour in for people. And the product looks super creamy. So it looks like part of the skin and not like you've just whacked on a load of bronzer. Now, you wouldn't have to necessarily put powder and bronzer and all the rest of it over this. This is quite a gorgeous base, especially on mature clients, because you want to keep it creamy, dewy, and maybe just put a little bit of powder where you need it, you know, because as we do get older, a lot of the time our skin gets dry. And so if you're putting drying products on to begin with, like lots of powders and things, your skin's going to look dry by the end of the day. So, you know, you want to keep it nice, creamy, hydrated, and always lifted. You know, I find slightly higher. You don't want to bring your bronzer and your contour down too low because it will drag your face down. So I kind of always keep it nice and lifted here. And then a little bit on the nose to kind of tie it all together. A little bit under the chin here because you want your décolletage to match your face. You know, you don't want a different colour. So that's important. Okay, keeping it simple. All right, so patting, not swiping, because that's going to work the product in. And then what you can do is take your little damp sponge, just kind of blend it all in together. Is a really key tool for making sure that the makeup looks like your skin and not like you've just whacked a whole bunch of product on there. Okay, the next step I would do is blusher. And I do love a creamy Charlotte Tilbury blush. She is, you know, all about the glow, and really that's what clients want these days. So couple of blushes. These are cream blushes, and that I find these easier to deal with than sort of liquid blushes, which can come out quite pigmented, and then before you know it, you do look a bit Aunt Sally. So this is called Rosy Glow, and it's a beautiful pink. Not too hectic, but what I do tend to do is rub a little bit on the back of my hand like this rather than putting it straight on your face, which is a mistake people do make because then, you know, you've got to mix it all. So you want to put all your creams on, and then if you do want a powder, then you put your powder on. So just to show you, we're going to put it on the back of the hand. We're going to work it into the bronzer brush. I'm not even changing my brushes. And then we're going to work it into the bronzer. So we're going to keep it nice and high and just around this area here. Okay. So it looks like it's part of, like I look, doesn't look like I've whacked blusher on. It looks like part of, you know, like I've caught the sun a little bit. So that's a lovely blusher, Rosy Glow. They've also got a peachy one, which sometimes I mix in with it. But that's another nice blusher if you prefer more of a peachy tone. The other things that are beautiful as well are the what are these called? Beauty Light. These are the high blush. These are the twisty ones. This is Pink Gasm. And these are gorgeous, also a little bit sheerer, not as strong as those cream ones, but I'm going to show you what that looks like on the other side. And I probably use Pink Gasm more than any of the other ones. They're like a gel formula, okay? Um, and again, very easy to use. Just twist it. So rather than putting it straight on the skin from the tube, I would always work it on the back of my hand first. So Pink Gasm and also MCO Beauty, you've got that there. They do all of these as well. So keeping it high, you know, working it in, using the patting motion, that's going to be your friend. Then it all looks like your skin. And then we're just going to go in with your sponge. Just pat that in there. Okay. Now, if you need to powder, which, you know, some people don't always, I tend to just powder where we need to. Just get yourself a little pressed powder, or like this is the Laura Mercier. I love this powder. It's very finely milled, like, you know, it doesn't look heavy. And I would use a little, depending on the client. So if you have oily skin, I would use the same what I've done, but I would use a little press powder here, and I would press the powder into areas where people might get shiny. But because I've got dry skin, I am just going to use just a powder brush, just a light powder brush here. Just tap off, and I just set this area a little bit. And the beauty of this is that, you know, you're not going to look really dry. You just want to just do it where you need to, and you keep this nice, shiny, beautiful glow to the skin. So that's pretty much skin done if your skin is really dry. If I wanted to go that extra mile, Hourglass bronzers. If anyone uses these are beautiful because they give a sheer powder, like very glowy powdered finish. You know, you can go over and just set this area here to, that'll lock it in then for the day. But this is diffuse nude bronze light. So if you're fair, this is quite a nice bronzer just to set it. You could wear it on its own as well. Skin done. That's all of that. Now, eyebrows. I'm just gonna get my eyebrow pencil. Now, easiest way to shape them, always brush your eyebrows up, okay? You want your eyebrows to look lifted. Mine are almost non-existent. I'm just using a NYX twisty pencil. This is a drugstore brand, but just to show you how to shape your brows, they should start from the nostril actually, and that's really where your first brow should start. Through your pupil is the where it should arch, and this is where it should end. So you want the first part to be 2/3 of the brow and then a little end bit. So we don't want round, skinny brows. We kind of want a little soft arch. So I normally go in at the bottom, just looking in the mirror here. You don't want them really heavy in here, but just to kind of gently draw that arch on, and just, I'll show you the difference now. And just keep brushing through. So you want the darkest part to be just at the bottom, and then the top bit to be a bit more feathered. That makes sense. So 2/3 this area, 1/3 that. This is all the technical stuff, but yeah, just getting a pencil as well that's probably maybe a shade darker than your own brows, but not too dark, and just go lightly with it. See the difference? Like you want it nice and brushed up, just groomed. Okay. Just gently going in here. Because what can be aging with brows is if you've got a really high skinny arch, you want to just kind of bring that arch down and along so it's not really up and skinny. That makes sense. Things to think about when shaping your brows. Okay, so that's good. MAC have got some pencils as well that are great. We're not going to overcomplicate that anymore. Now, eye makeup. I'm not going to make this difficult. You don't have Mecca there, do you? Mecca? No, it's a shame. But because these are great for quick application makeup if you are going to work or like, you just want a little bit of depth to your eye makeup, but, you've got to do it quickly. So I think Hourglass, they've got some nice sticks like this. I try and go for sticks without any shimmer to them, okay? Because I want a nice, easy base. So I'm going to go in with caramel today. So if you can find a stick or a creamy eyeshadow that stays put, get that, because it's a good base to start with, and it will mean that your makeup will last longer. And so, easiest way to do it, I'd always look at my client. I'd start off on the outer corner. You want the darkest part of the eyeshadow to always be at the base of the lid of the eye. If that makes sense. So I start off on the outer corner and just back and forth like that. Okay, and then I would take a blending brush, just any old eye blending brush like that. You can get one of those from MAC. And I would take my loose powder that I've got from Laura Mercier. And this is pretty much an easy everyday go-to for me. Take that once it's on and you buff back and forth around the edge. And this is a magic way of blending that eyeshadow quickly so that you look like you've got something on. So you always start in the outer corner, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And again, the golden ratio and all of this jazz come into there's many different eye shapes, and that's why I've sent you the information so that you can have a think about your own eye shape and think, okay, placement, where do I put the dark to really enhance the eye? Where do I put that eyeliner that's most flattering for my eye shape? Because it's very easy to just draw a line the whole way across, and that might not necessarily be doing you any favors, but this is the easiest way to get an eyeshadow or get something on for your day to day. So if you can get yourself a cream eyeshadow and then just a loose powder back and forth, and then just go in with a bit of an eyeliner. Now I'm going to use a Sephora. I think you've got Sephora there. I'm just going to go for a dark espresso chocolate pencil. And this is what I do on most clients. I would tight line the eye a little bit. And tight lining means when you go in here, not necessarily really deep on the water bit, but you want to really work in between each lash to I mean, the difference that that makes to thicken up that lash line. So doing that in your makeup and just putting on a bit of mascara will make all the difference. If you wanted to go that extra mile and you were feeling confident, whenever you darken a little of this area, it will naturally give a bit more, well, a little bit more glamour, but it also will create a little bit more lift. So depending on the eye shape, on mine, I I've got an almond shaped eye, but just just a few dots here on this outer edge creates enough that it looks like I've got some makeup on now with a bit of mascara. So don't overcomplicate it. Think about your eye shape and just draw on a little bit of eyeliner where you need to. So I would do that and then maybe get a smudger brush, like a little stubby brush. Let me have a little look what we've got here. Here we go. It's something like this. And, if you wanted to have a bit of a smokier eye situation, you can just soften it back and forth. So that darkest colour just stays at the root of the lash. Now, I'm not going to do both eyes. I'm just going to show you so that we're not taking too long. But that is a very simple way of creating some depth to the eye and making you look like you've got, your eye makeup on. And then you put your mascara on. Now, mascaras, I don't spend a lot on mascara either. This is a Maybelline Colossal. A few makeup artists I know have this in their kit. I would curl somebody's lashes because it opens the eye up. So if your lashes are going up like this, it's going to go over any creasy bit. So if you've got an eye like that and your eyelashes go over it a little bit, it opens the eye up. So if you've got a lash curler, do that because it makes all the difference once you put your mascara on. Oh, I'm just trying to find my disposable mascara one, which you might have to just take this mascara out of my kit and give it to me, actually, because I can't find those. Okay, well, we'll do that. So when I'm putting my mascara on, just a little bit of a wiggle. You want to get the main amount of product at the root of the lash and then work it up. So there you go. All right, just so that you can see the difference. So if you can find just a little stick that's easy to just whack on and then just back and forth with a brush and a little bit of loose powder and a tiny bit of eyeliner, that's sometimes all you need to create a nice, simple eye makeup look that's not too difficult to, do, whenever you want to do it. So, and the last step, I'm going to go in with a lip pencil. So, Charlotte Tilbury, all the way. Charlotte Tilbury's got some beautiful lipstick. So, tonally, this all works because they're nice, like warm, pinky. It's a warm colour on the lid of my eye. It's a warm chocolate brown eyeliner I've used. So, I would go in with maybe like a nice peachy pink lip pencil. What have we got here? Let's have a look. She's got some gorgeous colours. So tonally, it all works, with my skin tone as well, because I'm low contrast. Which again, I've sent you all of this. So I've got blonde hair, I'm not a high contrast would be dark hair and pale skin. I am blonde with slightly tan skin, so it's low contrast. It's not so I want to keep it all like nice, warm, peachy tones. This one is, I like Pillow Talk. Let's be honest, that goes with everyone. Pillow Talk Fair. Let's do this. This is a bit This is a bit pinky. And if I was shaping a lip, you want to not make it really thick here. I start in the inner corner and I work upwards towards the bow of the lip. You don't always have to lip line, but I do find it, obviously, as we age, our lips thin. So by creating a little bit of fullness with a lip liner, it gives a more youthful look. Whenever I do this on the mothers of the bride, they're like, oh my God, I love my lips. And that's just because maybe I've just gone a little bit just at the top here. Sorry, my nose is running. And here, and then just straight across. So just so that it gives a little bit of fullness here and here. And then I would go in with a bit of Pillow Talk lip gloss, which, it goes on pretty much everyone. It's easy, I use the Pillow Talk lipsticks as well if I want, it to last a bit longer. So this is a gorgeous colour, easy to use. You don't need to think about it. And tonally, it all works really well. So that is a good combo. And then to finish off, I would always spray the makeup. So I'm just doing the one eye. It looks a bit weird. With a finishing spray. So some people don't like having any powder on their face, and that's okay. But I would then set with a bit of the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. Give it a good, a good old douse of it, and then I and I pull out this bad boy. And that always makes everyone just feel really lovely. Feels like the makeup's, set into the skin, but it still feels like their skin. So that's a step that, I don't skip. And that's it, really. I've tried to keep it kind of simple, not too many products, but they're in there. I hope that's helped.
That was
I think
brilliant.
that's end of it, really. It's very sort of basics, but trying to be informative for you.
Nicola, that was brilliant. The bit that I didn't get the recording on was the beginning. Can you just show the charts again and just do that bit so that we got it for the recording for anyone who wants to watch this afterwards?
Yes, absolutely. So, first step is to consider your face shape here. So, we work with the golden ratio and the measurements. So, when you're doing your makeup now, you can think about that. We want to always bring the face shape more towards a oval face shape, and this is done with light and shade and shading and measurement. So this is something that I consider every time I'm doing somebody's makeup. And then what I have done here is printed off different eye shapes, so to show you, on hooded eyes, where is good to place the eyeliner, where is good to put a little bit of shading in if you want to, if your eyes are round, where to put the eyeliner, where not to put the eyeliner to make them, look more rounded, because ultimately you want them to look a little bit more almond shaped, because that essentially is meant to be the most attractive eye shape. This is about if you've got monolids, which is a lot of Asian people out here, that's how to work that. And what else have we got here? Yeah, that's that's it. And then I've sent you a little bit of color theory as well. So you can just think about those sort of colors, or you can take that in and show people when you go to Sephora and say, I think these are the sort of colors I use. What would you suggest? And then hopefully they can help you choose it. So Anyway, I
Wonderful.
hope this has been good.
It's been absolutely brilliant. Do you mind if we have questions now? Because I'm sure
Yes,
everyone's going to say, well,
fire away. I'm
oh,
good with
hold
this.
on.
If
Let me
if you have
just
any.
bless you. I think we've got Tess. Did you want to ask something, darling?
Yes, please. Thanks, Amanda. Hi, Nikki. Oh my God. Loved that because you use all the products that I love. I mean, I love the colours and it's very much what I like to go
Yeah,
for. I can't
same.
at Tilbury or anything at the moment, but when I can save up next,
MCO Beauty, it's the
yeah,
same thing. It is the same thing. Like, I mean, they've really
yeah,
taken it away.
isn't
So
it?
if you can't, yeah, do
Um,
that.
and I wanted to ask, what do you recommend for nose contouring? Obviously, I know we're past the stage of like, the early 2010s where we all used to contour, but I like to put a bit of shape to my nose because front on my nose is quite, it's like a splodge. So if
Bless.
you have any tips, I would love to know. Thank you. And thank
Okay,
you.
great. I do. So, what I use today is the Chanel Cream Bronzer, and this does give a lovely creamy glow, but also helps softly kind of contour the skin. But if you really want to contour, you want something cooler toned, and that will then create real shading. And so I did bring my little, I mean, you want this is the Westman Atelier stick. I don't know whether you have that there. Okay. Um, Again, these aren't cheap, but if you take what I'm telling you and maybe can find a cheaper version, great. So this is in the shade Biscuit, and this is a lot cooler. I don't know if you can see how much of a cooler tone that is to what I've got. If I wanted to carve out somebody's nose, if they had a wide set nose that they were considered about, I would use a slightly smaller brush. Well, let's have a little look. Like this. See how it's like that? I would go in and I would mark it out. So I would draw it in here, right? Which looks mental initially, but then I would go in with the sponge and just soften it in. But that would then give the illusion. So take your sponge, no, not that one, and just work it in a bit. So not so that it's muddy, but try and just use something cooler toned, and see how much smaller my nose looks through the middle there now, because I've used a cooler toned stick. Okay,
Thank
and
you.
that is, if somebody also had a particularly round face, I'd probably maybe go in a little bit with a cooler tone just to carve it out, like so that I'll just show you. So you might want to go in with a smaller brush if you really want to contour. See that? Looks
Yeah.
hectic. But then you use your sponge to blend it in and it will just,
So
cut your
yes,
face a bit out.
so I could use the because I know the Chanel one, I know the colouring of it, and
Yeah.
so using that style of colour with a cooler tone on top, I could do because my face is very.
Yes. Yes. So if you go in, like you could put the cream bronzer on first, the Chanel one, but then just if you really want to snatch it, go in with a cooler tone stick just on these sort of areas, and it will,
Oh,
cut it all. Also, especially around
oh,
here, this is a good one. So if I'm going to an event or something and I'm like, oh, I've chubbed up a bit, I need to get a bit skinny, actually drawing it on and then sponging it in, and it will then give you more of a snatch look to your face.
wonderful! Thank you so much, lovely. Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. And now I think it's Tracy. Tracy wants to ask something. Can you unmute yourself, Trace?
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry that I
Oh,
came in a little bit late as well, but
that's all right.
first of all, I wanted to say I've been watching you on Insta. Oh my gosh.
Trying.
I just think that you are fab. I just love how
Oh,
natural you are, and you just make me laugh so much. So
thanks.
thank you.
That's
It's just
important, I think.
fab. Thank you. But your tips are just brilliant. So I wanted to
Oh,
say
good.
that first. Thank you.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
and a lot of the products that you were using, my daughter Lily uses those, and I'm like, oh, right, I can have some of them then because I'm buying the cheaper stuff at the minute.
Yeah,
So thank you for that. But there was a couple of things, like about my eyebrows. I have got like thin eyebrows as well, really. So I've been using a pomade. Is it a pomade? Is it
yes.
called a
Yeah,
pomade?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Do you
yeah.
think do you think the pencil is better than a pomade?
Not
Um,
necessarily. It might be easier. Do you struggle with it? Because the pomades, is it Anastasia Beverly Hills? Is it like a gel pomade?
no, it's like a powder, like a set powder.
Okay.
But it's
And
only, I
is
can't remember what brand it's from, Superdrug. So it's
okay. Yeah, that's all right.
probably it
Um,
is.
does it come with an applicator and is it quite easy to use or do you struggle with it?
Now I have got an applicator anyway, like a slanted brush that I
Yeah,
do
great.
use. But
Yeah.
do you
And
think
do you
that is
find
brilliant?
do you find that it stays to the end of the day, or do you find at the end of the day it's come off, or is it
No,
good then it
it's
stays
quite
up?
good. Yeah, it is
Great.
quite good then
Then keep
for
using
that.
that. I'd say, powders, pencils are easy to use, but if it's got an angle brush, because some of those pomades sometimes just have like a thick applicator, and then it's very difficult to get like what I would say like a nice natural fluffy brow. But go in with that and just gently fill it out and think about that shape that I've said. So 2/3 that bit, 1/3 this bit, and then you just,
Okay.
you know, when you're drawing it on, you never want it to be super heavy, really dark in here. So whenever I'm drawing on a brow, I normally start from about here and then just go in stronger underneath and then keep brushing up and then might do a few like light hair strokes, like upwards to work it so
Okay.
that it looks a bit more natural. But keep using what you're using. Just, think about the shape that you're doing when you're doing it.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And
I hope
also
that
I've
helps.
got thin lips as well. So what would, because you've got lovely full lips, what would
Well, I've
you
had
do
them done a
to
couple of times.
it's all
But
right.
so keeping, if you've got slightly thinner lips, using so the Charlotte Tilbury colours are lovely because they're neutral. But if I wanted to make somebody's lip a bit bigger, I'll tell you what is good. I don't know whether you've got MAC there, but maybe a cooler tone lip initially around
Mhm.
it. So a cooler tone pencil. This is called Strip Down. And if I, want to thicken up somebody's lips first, I would always use gloss on somebody that had thin lips because you want the illusion that they're fuller, right? So you might put a lipstick on first, but always finish off with a gloss because that's going to make your lips look bigger. But if
Oh,
you went
okay.
in initially with a bit of a cooler tone lip liner around this outer, you always want the middle of the lip to be a bit fuller. So if you go straight across like that, straight across the bow of the lip, that will
Hmm.
create a bit of a fuller lip there. And,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
and when you're doing your lip liner, always work upwards, and that will naturally give a fuller lip shape rather than drawing your lip on and going down, because sometimes that can um, make it look a little bit not thinner, but like you'll get a fuller lip shape if you work upwards towards the bow of the lip.
Okay. Oh, thank
All right.
you.
Little trick of how to
Thank
do it.
you. Am I all right
Okay.
to ask another question, please? I'm sorry, I don't want to
Yeah,
take everybody's time because
I
Lily's
love
just
it.
asked me another question. Um, Can I ask what's the best primer for dehydrated skin, please?
Oh, that is a good
Or
question. So,
oh,
if your skin's dehydrated, it needs, I would go in and prep it firstly with a hydration mist, right? Because it's dehydrated, needs water, right? Fix Plus from MAC is a
okay.
gorgeous one. It's got lots of lovely ingredients in. So when you get out the shower, I hydrate, loads of hydration. Or if you like natural stuff, get some rose water. This is just from a
Mm,
natural, I love rose water. It
yeah.
smells beautiful and it's natural. Always put that on. If their skin's dehydrated, I would use that and then go in with, well, again, I normally use a light oil. So jojoba oil, something super simple, or um, a hydration mist. And then because they're dehydrated, the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream, again, is expensive, but it really does hydrate the
Yeah.
skin. If you want a bit more of a budget, Weleda Skin Food. I mean,
Okay.
that's a good one if your skin is sort of really wants to lock in the moisture. So really hydrate, and then put like a good solid moisturizer on so that it holds that moisture
Yeah.
in. Um, the Embryolisse as well. This is a kit fave for all makeup artists. This is sold at most drugstores, and this is just a really nice base for your makeup. So
Okay.
that's a nice light moisturizer. Will work well with dehydrated skin, most skin types, but that's a good one that I use in my kit very often. So yeah, those are
Thank you
all
so
things that
much.
I would suggest. Really,
Oh, thank you, thank you.
no worries.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
Thanks, Trace. And now we've got
you.
T. T wants to ask a question. Unmute yourself, T.
I'm muted.
Hello.
Hello. You all right?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
That was fab. Thank you very much.
Oh, good. I hope you all sort of can take this away and think about things a little bit when you're
Yeah,
putting them on.
definitely. Definitely. I have two questions, but one question you've already answered. I wanted to know why you went across the top of your lips with your lip pencil.
It's a really simple, like makeup hack that will make your lips look fuller. So if
Didn't
you
know that.
just go straight across instead of actually following the lip shape, you will look like you've got a fuller lip at the top, and then just gloss it up.
That is so easy. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, there you go.
My next question is, I dislike these bits of my face. You bits
We've all got
here.
those dogs. It's,
No,
yeah,
you haven't.
movement.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
mine
have.
carry on right down here. Is there anything that you like contouring or shading that I can use to
Right.
like lift it or look like it's lifted? Look
Okay.
like
Well,
I've
the
had
gua
Botox.
sha, yes. Firstly, the gua sha stone is going to
Okay,
be your best friend, and that
right.
is consistency with the gua sha stone. Where is it? Working the
Right.
product up with a nice
Yep.
oil, right? Making sure
Okay.
your skin looks hydrated because
Yep.
then light will bounce from it. But another thing is if I have a mature client, once I've really massaged her face, because I find that really helps um, bring some blood flow back into the
Okay.
face. Um, Using a concealer that is a few shades lighter, just really lightly,
Yeah.
so maybe like the NARS in like say maybe the shade vanilla or something on you would be a good
Okay.
one. And really what you want to do, because these bits are quite dark, maybe in
Mm,
here, or
yeah.
if I just dot a couple of dots in those areas, right? Not too much. And then I would press it in gently. And what this will
Okay.
just do, or with your finger, and it will
Yep.
just create the illusion that this area maybe isn't as dark, you know? So
Right.
it is also playing with the light and shade. You don't want to overload the product, but you do want to bring that area out a little bit. And also, like I
Okay.
said, hydration, blood
Yep.
flow, invest in a little gua sha stone and get, working it. Also, Trini London. Yeah, does anyone follow Trini on here? Yeah,
No.
friggin' love her. She is great if you are on the gram. She's just great at she uses lots of techniques like, massaging your face, getting it
Okay.
going in the
Yeah.
morning. She does all of this sort of jazz,
Oh,
if you've
okay.
got time. And, I learn a lot from her. Because
Okay.
she is all about doing quick makeup and also things that help, lymphatic drainage, all of this
Yeah.
jazz. I
Mm.
do that in the morning. It's really important to help your blood flow, and this ultimately will help your face look more youthful. So
Brilliant.
there's some
Thank you
tips there
very
for you.
much,
No
Nikki.
worries.
Fab.
I
Thank
hope that
you.
helps.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. Do you think you could add a link to our group for the who did you say it was? Trini?
Brinny London, I will, her
Would you?
Instagram, if you're on there. She's just great to watch. I mean,
Brilliant.
she looks phenomenal for her age as well. And that is just, she uses a lot of those sort of techniques. She uses dry body brushing and all of I don't know, she shows you how to tap your arms and all of this to help, like, with your lymph nodes and stuff. So
I do
I'm all
use
about that.
dry brush because my friend who had cancer told me all about this, and I've used it ever since. And I do that before a shower, dry brushing. So it's such
It's amazing.
yeah. So yeah. So
Yeah, I swear by dry body brushing. I do it every
yeah,
single day. You
yeah,
can get them from like just a chemist or stuff. You don't want synthetic hairs, you want like the proper ones. But every day, all
yeah,
the way towards your heart, always across here, and it just gets rid of the dead skin. And
yeah.
then you could just put a body oil on. I don't use anything perfumed on my, body skin. It's and my skin's pretty good now, so consistency is key.
Can I ask two things, darling? I
Yeah.
went to stay in Koh Samui. Before that, I'd gone to a
Oh.
dermatologist who had done all my creams and everything was fine. But when I came back, my skin has been really, really oily, especially
Ah.
in between the eyebrows. It's almost like I've got like a sort of a menopausal blooming acne and a little bit on my face. So my skin's really oily, and I've tried to eliminate products and change everything. And I take do use tretinoin as well. I get that
Don't
prescription.
know that.
It's like retinol, but even stronger.
Right.
But so I'm just thinking, right, maybe I should just start from scratch. So what would you recommend for somebody who's got mature skin and really oily? Because
Really oily.
when I put my
Don't
makeup on,
over
it becomes really shiny.
Does it throughout the day. What are you happy with the skincare that you're using, or are you thinking about changing it, is what you're saying?
It's all expensive products. I mean, the drops are like it's £100 for the little, thing, and then it's Curel. I've got the night and day. That's fine, but it's a bit thick, I think, for me. And then as I say, I've got for the night, I've got this tretinoin, which is like retinol, but much, much stronger. So I'm thinking
Right,
maybe
okay.
just start from scratch.
Yeah, I always think keeping skincare simple. I think we get overloaded with like a million different things, and like, your skin ultimately on your body does what it's meant to. So we change it for our face, and a lot of the time we damage the barrier and then it overcompensates. So if your skin's particularly oily, what you don't want to do is keep stripping it, because then your skin starts producing more oil all the time. So I always think go for the simplest kind of skincare and something that's easily absorbed on the skin. So, if I would say do you have CeraVe here? CeraVe, which is
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like simple skincare, and just get something that's for oily skin, and just don't overdo it, because if your skin's oily, you don't want to be overloading it with rich, thick products, because it will just feel oily and greasy. Get a light moisturizer that's lightweight, that just hydrates the skin, but helps control the oil. So CeraVe is just a simple, easy, basic. Cut it all back. Don't spend a lot of money and see how you go with it.
And what about a sort of like a vitamin C day thing, serum? What about that?
Yeah, so vitamin C's for brightening. I would say yes, you could put your serums on first, maybe just a couple of drops. What we do as women, sometimes we get a new skincare and then we put 7 or 8 drops on, because we're
Yeah.
like, oh, we've got new skincare. And so whack loads of it on, when really a couple of drops is all you need, because it's potent. So I don't really know any vitamin C's that I could recommend, because I used to use it all and I stopped.
Right.
So a good skincare brand though is SkinCeuticals. Have
Yeah.
you heard of this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so if you are to spend the money, I used to use SkinCeuticals, and they have a really nice serum called Ferulic. If you go online or go onto their Instagram, you can actually go on and they will tailor a skincare to your skin type. So you can talk to like an AI bot, and you can say, I've got really oily skin, I've got really dry skin. What combination do you think? And it will just tell you, and it will tell you why. Now, if you are to invest in skincare, SkinCeuticals you can't beat. Most makeup artists will use it on themselves. I used to, but it costs a fortune. So,
I think
um,
I've got a feeling that my one upstairs is that because it's over 100.
SkinCeuticals,
Yeah, but I've minimized it to 3 drops rather than 5. And at
there you
night,
go.
would I need anything at night? I don't, I guess I
Well,
wouldn't.
you're using the retinol at night, are
I was
you?
using that, yeah. But
Yeah,
I
don't
reduced.
overdo it.
Okay.
Just maybe use the retinol, because retinol is to help um, rejuvenate skin cells, isn't
Yeah.
it? So,
It does work. It's really been helpful. So
and are you able, are you able to use it every night? Does it
I,
say
I
used every day? Or,
I do it every other day. I'm supposed to do it every
yeah,
day, but because I get this breakout all the time, I've been trying to reduce everything.
has that breakout started since you've used the retinol?
Literally, as soon as I got back to the UK 2.5 years ago, and it's never stopped. It's always there. And I've tried all sorts
Right.
of things, but I think it's just because my skin changed being in the country for 3 months, and
Oh.
and it might have been hormones as well.
Have you tried cutting back on the retinol? Because it
Yeah,
is quite strong.
I did that. Yeah, I might do it
Yeah.
again and see if that makes a difference.
Because sometimes it might be your skin just telling you it doesn't need retinol all the
That's what I'm
time,
thinking.
you know?
Yeah.
And this is the thing, isn't it? We get sold at the river with all of these stuff, and
Oh,
ultimately,
oh, the shopping,
I
mate.
stopped using all of it, and my skin just looks the same.
I know.
So, you know, natural products, like I love rose water. You know, if you can get hold of that, it's beautiful for,
Yeah.
you know, I spritz it on my face after my shower, and it just feels nice on the skin. Um, you know, you might not want to do an oil because you've got oily skin, but
Mm.
you know, just using a bit of rose water and a bit of CeraVe for oily skins might just be all that you need, and just see how that feels.
I do actually use rose water. Someone told me to put 3/4 rose water and 1/4 glycerin, and I just spray that
Oh,
on my body all over, and I use that as my moisturizer, and it's really, really good.
well, glycerin is
Yeah,
basically going to give you a really glowy
yeah,
skin, because
yeah,
it's like, it looks, I did a shoot the other day for a muscle brand, and I was purely on the sweat situation. So glycerin and water looks
yeah.
like sweat. but glycerin, and that sounds lovely.
With rose water, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I hope that helps. Keep it
Bless
simple.
you. Thank you. Are there any other questions from any ladies? No, nobody, no other questions. But you can send the extra link in our group, can't you? And you're gonna, yeah,
For Trini.
Yeah, thank you, Danny.
On Instagram, yeah. So you want, quick, easy things that, she's all about sticking your fingers in pots and putting it on, and that's it. But, that's where I'm at with it. Just kind of try and break it down and keep it simple.
Thank you so much. Bless you. Well,
my pleasure.
And I'll add it to my YouTube as well so people can access it. And
Okay.
I look forward to seeing you in the next group.
Yay! Well, thanks for joining, everyone. I'm going to go back to bed.
Good for you. I know. 5 o'clock in the morning now.
5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm fully made up now.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for joining, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it.
Bless you. Really did.
Thank you, Amanda.
Look forward to the next one.